The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
Yeah, Earnestly Speaking podcast. Let's get it. I'm a giant in New York, in Miami carry heat. So much more in store, my product can flood the street. Opinion Nation Godfather, CEO. Puff in the late 90s, gon' see me blow. Oh. Got my hustle on, no imitation of that. Army of untouchables, Opinion Nation staff. Never an off season, homie, check the numbers. Heart throb in my own right, supplying southern comfort. Earnestly speaking, my ego is well fed. Earnestly speaking, you're too evil and no threat. See, I'm like a hurricane, you're a mild breeze. Earnestly speaking, leaving Eli a dynasty. Shake!
Earnestly Speaking podcast, recording this Wednesday night, late night, May 21st, 2025. We have a very special guest. Very special that he has not been on the show a couple of years, actually. My man, Darrel Wilson, a.k.a. D-Wil, a.k.a. Spits Games. He's actually one of the early fan members of this podcast. He's back on the show. First time in about, I think, maybe 3-4 years, actually. What's up, baby? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. West Coast, man. West Coast.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're up. I don't know how you're up at 11:30 something.
Trust me. This is not normal. I don't record normally this late, to be honest with you. Doing this for you because you out west, obviously. Was it now 8:30 there in Cali?
8:30.
Yeah, 11:30
I got
right
a
now.
bunch of Kendrick Lamar concert traffic behind me. I live down the street from SoFi, so it's wild.
So
right now.
He was performing tonight.
He's performing right now.
Oh, nice.
At SoFi. Yeah, he got a show tonight, Friday night, and I think another night. Yeah.
There was a debate on this show a couple months ago. I had my boy Denny Blanco on the show, and we were debating about whether or not if this 1 year run was probably the greatest 1 year run we've ever seen hip hop by a single artist. Would you agree with that take?
I don't know. This 1 year run is fire. I wouldn't say it's the greatest because he only released one album. He released one album. It's breaking all the charts and whatnot, man. But I think that year that DMX had.
He said that too. Also, that
he dropped
99
2 albums. Yeah,
98,
he dropped
99.
2 albums 1 year. Like that was an incredible 1 year run too. But like this is like that wasn't chart breaking. That was just like for the culture, like hip hop.
Right.
Like this is like some real chart breaking type of shit.
Right.
It's amazing. Like he's selling out arenas. No hip hop artist has sold out arenas by himself. Granted, like he's co-headlining, but like he's selling out not even arenas, stadiums.
Yes.
That's a big difference.
That's the thing too. Also with him is like people act like this dude is new. This dude's been out in the game now, at the very least, mainstream for at least 15 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if we're talking about the 1 year run, like I was trying to think about which guys had like 1 year. There's only 2 artists I can think of in the genre that's actually had a kind of similar trek of a dominant year like this. Obviously, DMX is the one we referenced earlier, also too on the pod months ago. And I think Eminem's also 2002 was pretty sick too, also because he released an album. He also put out the 8 Mile soundtrack and the 8 Mile movie. I thought he was High to Powers. He was High to Powers, the biggest name in music you can consider really at that point that year. So those are only the comps I have for that. I'm sure there's a Jay-Z year you can consider, and maybe one Tupac year or a Biggie year. But this, I mean, when you consider the fact that Kendrick Lamar had the diss tracks, had the album, had the Super Bowl halftime show, and the Grammys, so all that headway he had for literally over a calendar year,
it's incredible.
It's pretty sick, dude. I mean, and
it's incredible.
And and you've been a fan for a long time, obviously. I know that. So he's definitely because he's local to you guys. It's definitely this is something special for you guys to see and experience.
Man, I watched this man do a show at the White House. I got a special invitation to the White House way back in was it 2020? 2016. 2016 when Obama was still there.
Obama was still here.
Yeah, Obama was still there. 2016. And it it was amazing. Like it was so intimate, and like he rocked the house like without cussing or anything like that, which I thought was wild. Like, how's he gonna perform for the president and not cuss? And it was wild. And like he did his damn thing. I'm not a big concert guy though, man. Everybody's hyped up about going to the concert.
Really?
I'm not a big
at all.
I'm not a big concert guy.
Why?
I like going to small shows.
Okay.
I don't like big arenas with everybody around. Like I like to geek out. I like to geek out to the music and stuff like that, and like just really enjoy like the small settings, be up close to the artists, and like really feel the vibe. You know what I mean? Like I'm not truly a fan of like huge concerts at all. I prefer enjoy the music to myself with the headphone in the car. So I'm not a big concert guy at all.
Not get all that, man. Oh God, man, we'll right there with polar opposites, bro. Because I love live shows. I love live shows, man. I'm a musician number one, so that's in my blood already. Hell, my wife and I, like for example, we're gonna go see Metallica in a couple of weeks up in Tampa, right? And then we're gonna go. Well, actually, her and I are traveling to New York to see System of a Down and Korn in concert at MetLife Stadium. So, I mean, live shows for me is like everything. Like, that's my passion, bro. Like, although I will say though, having said that, this is why I'm gonna agree with you. Smaller, intimate shows are always better because it's much more, you say geek out. I feel that. And like this is also why I love going to local shows too, also because you get that with local bands and local artists and whatnot. So there's something to be said about that the local stuff and the intimate stuff is a lot more. I would love to see some of these bands I loved through the years in an intimate setting. Like I love to see Metallica, and I already see Metallica twice in an arena, twice in a stadium. I want to see them actually in a smaller, like almost like a sit down acoustic kind of thing. And that's kind of cool,
right? Yeah, that'll be amazing.
Yeah,
that'll be amazing.
Yeah, so that's that's something that my live show's my life, bro. I love live shows, man. Probably more than sports, to be honest with you. I mean,
really?
Oh God, yeah. I'm a music nut. Like, I love sports. Sports is everything, but God says you pick one. I'm picking music every day of the week, brother.
I ain't mad at you.
It's timeless, brother. It's timeless.
Right.
It's timeless.
Right.
You can't, so that's how I feel.
Right.
Like. So we're recording this podcast late at night. We just finished watching the end of the Knicks meltdown in Game 1 against the Pacers. Yo, what was that? What was that?
I have no idea. Like I was getting ready to come on this pod and talk about like, how crazy is New York right now? Like New York is up right now. Like they're winning and this, that, and the other. And then like, Halliburton just hit him with the Reggie Miller choke sign. Like if New York don't come back and win this series, man, like these fans are gonna go wild. Like what's it gonna be like? What's it gonna be like in New York, man? Like if they don't win this series, what's it gonna be like?
I think it depends how they lose. Like, well, it's funny because like if this was Boston, I think they can accept this, but because it's Indiana and they're the favorites to win the series, and like these teams are probably about even, really. If you look at basketball metrics and whatnot. But I would say New York has an edge because they probably have better players that can dominate a game at any point of a game. Like Brunson could dominate a game, Cat could dominate a game. Even OG once in a while could dominate a game. Whereas Indiana has probably a more deeper team. Coaching advantage goes to Indiana, of course. I think Tom Thibodeau is a solid coach, actually a real good coach.
Why don't people like Tibbs, man?
Because he burns his guys to the ground, brother. He burns his guys to the ground. He does, man. That's
playoff style coaching, though, man.
I understand that, but he's doing that shit in game number 25 of the season too.
True,
it's a problem. You know what I mean?
True.
Rick Carlisle to me is he gets another ring this year for some reason. If Rick Carlisle wins the title this year, we're talking Rick Carlisle all time great, like all time top 10-ish coach all time at this point. Because he already has a title with Dallas already as is. So, but yeah, New York, they got to win the series now. You beat Boston in the way you did. There's no excuses. You got to win the series now. Like
it's crazy. Indiana really snuck up on people. They really did.
Yeah,
they really snuck up on people because we weren't talking about the Pacers before the playoffs started.
No,
we were not.
No,
nobody was.
And
if you said you did, you're a liar. Nobody.
No. Right, I'm with you. And the thing is too, also with Indiana, like we only like they're a weirdo team because the last couple of years, like one of those teams were like, high the powers, they can go on a run and make things interesting. They made the conference finals last year, so all that. So there is something to be said about, Indiana can be a little bit scary here and there. But I had them lose in the first round against Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen.
Same.
Had them lose against Cleveland in the second round. That didn't happen. And I had them lose against New York this year. And now they're up 1-0 against the Knicks. So clearly I'm getting something wrong here so far.
It's because they're Indiana. That's why. It's because they're Indiana. They're really built to win this. Like the whole Siakam trade, all that's like they're really built to win this.
Yeah, they really are.
But nobody's talking about them. That's why, because they're not the glamour team.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And not only that, but the thing is though too. If you follow this thing too, also, they were since January 1st probably the best team in basketball. They were actually, by virtue of the metrics. And look, I don't like to marry myself to numbers all the time because I think that could be deceiving also too. They were playing at a 60-win pace since January 1st. So if we measure those things, they should be here, I guess. Really, if you think about it, it should be a big surprise, I guess.
What's Halliburton's pops gonna do at the celebration?
Oh my Lord, bro! You see, if this dude goes to the finals, and let's say how in the finals. Look, I don't think anybody's beating OKC. OKC is on another level. I think what we saw in that last round against Denver was a young team grow up before our very eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And last night they de-pantsed the Wolves. Okay, and that should not be a shock. I think that's going to be a trend the rest of the series. I don't see Minnesota winning more than one game in the series at all. I really don't. But I'm not gonna write them off though.
I'm not gonna write them off though. Right. I mean, if Ant-Man is healthy, and no, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm cheering for them to lose because I don't like how they did my Lakers. So I'm cheering for them to lose. But like Ant-Man is incredible when healthy. But like this OKC team, they're just way too deep. They play any style of basketball, any style. They could run it up on you. They could get dirty and muck the game up. They go big, they go small. Look, man, I even realized this. I had to look up everybody's height last night when they went small ball. When they went small ball, like they're still playing big. They didn't have anybody above 6'5" on the court at one point in the game. And like they were out rebounding those cats. Like it was nothing. Like this is wild. Like you're playing big with 3 players 6'5" and 2 players 6'3", and they're dominating the glass and just playing strong. That's crazy. I've never seen anything like that before, ever.
Yeah,
ever.
Yeah, but this OKC team, though, man, it's like, talk about Indiana not being talked about. People forget OKC won 68 games this year. 68 games. How many teams in this league's history, in this rich history, have you seen win north of 67 games? Very few. Very few won 70 as is, okay? 2, in fact, okay? This team was literally 2 wins away from hitting 70, and nobody's talking about that. Nobody.
Well, they chose not to. They chose, like, they could have went for it.
That's what I'm saying, though.
If they wanted to, but, like, they were on cruise control for the longest while. Like, they had the West locked up, like, right after All-Star break. Like, they had this whole thing locked up. Yeah. Like, they go 10 deep easily. They easily go 10 deep, and everybody plays a role. Like everybody's valuable. Like you could put anybody in that lineup. Like you could take SGA out the lineup, and like they still kick your ass.
Yeah,
easy.
They won the West by 16 games this year.
Shout out to SGA winning an MVP.
Yeah, he's fun to watch, bro. And by the way, for all the folks that complain,
Blue Nation, Kentucky fan here. Yeah.
Right. That's right. He is one of Kentucky. No, I forgot you're a Kentucky guy. So wait, so you're a Kentucky guy in college basketball, Florida State guy in college football. Mm-hmm. Lakers in football. Lakers are obviously in basketball. Raiders in football. What am I missing?
World
Dodgers in baseball.
World champion Dodgers.
Yeah, I know. Don't be bragging, bro. Although I root for you guys against the Yankees last year, so don't calm down. Hockey Kings? No. Kings hockey?
I like the Kings.
Okay.
I like the Kings. Are
they any good anymore?
They're decent. They're decent. I mean, they're not making noise. They're not making noise at all.
Yeah, last time I saw they beat my team in the Stanley Cup about 10 years ago, but whatever, they here or there. But no.
I like watching Edmonton though.
They're good. They are good. Yes.
Connor McDavid's ridiculous.
Yeah. Them in Florida are going to be. We're getting a rematch from last year. We're getting a rematch. What was I going to say? With OKC, they won the conference by 16 games, 68 wins. This team grew up for our very eyes. And SGA, if you're a basketball fan, that's what I'm going to say, that is complaining about the NBA is too much 3-point shooting and this and that. And by the way, I think those are legitimate arguments to have. Okay, I agree with that 100%. SGA is the guy you should be rooting for here because OKC and SGA, for example, they're a throwback. SGA is a slasher, mid-range game, the whole nine. They don't rely on 3-point shooting. They do it all. They can shoot the ball, yeah, but they also slash a lot, and these guys are playing, go to the basket and whatnot. So if you're a fan of 90s basketball, this is the team you're rooting for in OKC.
They could go on a run. Mm-hmm. They could go on a real run. Like they could actually build a dynasty.
Yeah.
Like it all depends. Do they want to keep their team together? Do they want to keep the team together and like pay all these guys, or are they going to use some of those assets and acquire like another superstar to keep it going? Like I'm cheering for them to just like trade picks for next year's picks and next year's picks and just like keep on accruing picks and picks and picks and just like keep their team together. That's what I'm hoping to see. Like I'm hoping to see one team just keep the gang together and just keep running it back to back to back. Like I don't want to see like somebody take off. Like I don't want to see Chet Holmgren like go somewhere else and sign a contract because like they're so fun to watch, man. Like in their current state, like my guy Alex Caruso, Lakers should never got rid of him. Like that team is built and like for a long time, all young players, and Caruso's really not that young, but he's still young, That's a great team. That's a great team to watch, man. Like I can't say enough about them. Like you said, like I'm rooting for them to continue doing well because I don't like anybody else in these playoffs. I really don't want anybody else to win.
No, how sick is it now? We look back, it's been like 6 years since that trade where Paul George for SGA and 5 first rounders, and the 5 first rounders is not the highlight. The steal was SGA.
I said it at the time. The Clippers are wild for getting rid of SGA. Like I'd rather have SGA than Paul George. Like at the time I said that because obviously I'm biased. I'm a Kentucky fan, but like SGA is the truth, and it's wild that they didn't keep that guy.
And by the way, I got to credit you also for you were the guy that told me also. Bam Adebayo, that's the guy to watch out for. You want to? I mean, he texted me. He said, after that draft,
like, you got a good one.
You're like, Bam. He's like, dude, listen, you got a good one, man. Hold on. Yep, I'm with you on that one. Nah, but you would think, okay, well, the worst part of trades is getting the 5 first-round picks. Nah, it's SGA, bro. You now got an MVP. He probably could have won MVP last year on top of that too, also. And he's now they're sent wins win an NBA title now on top of that. And they have, it's funny because like the last couple of years, we talk about teams. And by the way, it's crazy. I love the fact that the NBA now parity is here now. We have like going to have 7 new champions in a row. And we every champion we've seen the last couple of years, we see Milwaukee. Oh, Milwaukee, Giannis is young in his prime. They're going to have next 3, 4 years, 5 years to get 2 more titles, maybe. You know what I mean? And then you saw what happened with them with injuries and whatnot. Same thing with Denver 2 years ago. They won a title 2 years ago. Oh, that core 4 of Porter Jr. and Murray and Gordon with Jokic, they're set to go for the next 2-3 years. They get 2 more titles. And last 2 years, they've flamed down second round of the playoffs. We saw that with Boston last year. Boston was a title. Oh, they got this core, Tatum and Brown, and they got free reign to win another title or 2. And then Tatum gets hurt.
Happy to see it.
Oh, God damn, bro. Well, you're a Laker fan, so I get all that. You're a Laker fan. I get all that. No. But having said that, D-Will, the Thunder is a team really that has a realistic chance of running off multiple titles now. Soon they win this one, number 1, because of the assets they have. They have actual capital. Number 1, they're already young. They're already good as is before we even include the draft picks. Then you have the capital. If they choose to get involved and get another whale, or even just a whale, I
don't want to see it.
Just get another good player to add to that roster.
I don't want to see them give up like 4 first-round picks for Giannis. I don't want to see that happen.
And why would they? If they're going to win a title without him anyway, what's the point of going after that?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. So they're in. All the teams we mentioned. I mentioned Milwaukee, and, Denver and Boston that had the free reign to get 2 more titles. I think OKC is really the correct answer here, assuming they finish the job this year.
Assuming.
Because of course. Now, obviously, injuries happen, this and that. I mean, we can't really quite for that. But same time, with the capital they have, with the youth they have the clear run to capture multiple titles going forward. So, but yeah, but that being said, I do like the fact that the parity is great in the NBA. I know you're a Laker fan, obviously. I'm a Heat fan, and obviously we want our teams to thrive. But as a basketball fan, I love the parity. I love the fact that we have 4 teams. Right now, we have 4 teams in the Final Four right now. 3 of these teams have never won a title ever in history, and the other one, the Knicks, have not won one since Richard Nixon was president.
Yeah, in our lifetime.
Yeah,
have Knicks won a title in your life? No, they haven't. Right?
No, I ain't that old, bro.
When was the last Knicks title?
1973, bro.
Yeah,
since Richard Nixon was president. All right, so
that's crazy. That's actually crazy, dude. Yeah, that is actually crazy that the Knicks have never won a title in my lifetime. And like the way the Knicks fans act, like you wouldn't think that was the case at all. Yeah,
bro. The last time the Knicks won a title, Michael Jackson was a teenager with an afro, and on the young side, not the older side. so that's what I'm saying, bro. That's the perspective there. You know what I'm saying?
Poor Cat, man. He looks so sad. I'm watching the press conference right now. Like he just looks so sad.
And he played great tonight. You know what's funny about Cat though is that Cat. It's funny because I was never a Cat guy until this year. This year he grew on me. Like last year a little bit because of the little run they had last year to the conference finals. But this is the year. This year in New York, he really grew on me. I know that's your boy from
Well, no. So on the contrary, like I'm running around, I'm screaming BBN and I'm tweeting BBN and all this stuff. Like that's all I say. But like, I never cheer for Cat. I'm not a Cat fan. Like,
oh really?
I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like I still celebrate what he does well, but like I'm not a Cat fan.
So
I'm not a Cat fan. Like
no, I get it.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like I don't like Cat. I don't like Cat. I don't like Cat as a ball player. There's just something about him as a ball player that I don't like.
Is he too finesse?
Maybe that's what it is.
That's what it's for me. That's for me.
Maybe that's what it is. Like I'm probably pissed because like at Kentucky, like we could have went on an incredible run and ran the table, and his ass didn't show up in the tournament. So that's probably what it is. I'm not a huge Cat fan at all. I'm probably not a Booker fan either, really. But I like Booker more. I like Cat, but I'm not a Cat fan at all.
Damn,
my buddy was asking me, it was like, Cat versus Cat or Randall. I'm like, well, they got traded for each other, but like I like Randall way better than I like Cat.
Randall's man. I like Randall early on. I mean, and he's had a good playoff so far. And by the way, the sad part about them losing game 1 against OKC, I said that for Minnesota to win the series, Randall's has to play A+ ball all the way through the series. He played well last night. He played very well last night, and he still lost because everybody else didn't show up. You know what I'm saying? Nas Reed didn't show up. McDaniels didn't show up. None of those pieces around them didn't show up. So that's the sad part about that series. Obviously, you're a Laker fan, so I mentioned this podcast weeks ago that I think personally that next year will be LeBron James' last year in the NBA. What do you think about that take?
Who knows? Like you can never predict what that man is going to do. He's playing at such a high level that we have never seen anything like this before.
Right.
He doesn't seem like the type to me that will stop playing if he's still able to. He wants to win another championship. I think he will keep on playing as long as he's still even like 90% at this level right now.
Yeah.
I think he'll still play. I give him like at least another 2 years. I don't think he's going out next year. I don't believe he will. Like, granted, like if he goes ring chasing again, like I don't know, or go to another team. I really can't see that. He wants to do enough to cement his Laker legacy so he can get a statue in front of Staples or get his jersey hung up in the rafter. Like he wants that. Like he's all about legacy. That's if anything we know about LeBron, he's all about legacy. And like there's a lot of chatter right now in Laker Nation. Like this guy does not deserve a statue. This guy does not deserve his jersey up next to Kobe's or any of the other Laker greats. Like, he hears that. He pays attention to everything. He wants to do enough to cement his legacy as a Los Angeles Laker.
Do you agree with the sentiment about LeBron out west, about all those sentiments?
He's a great player, man. I don't think he has done enough to earn the statue per se.
I agree with 100%. I agree with 100%.
I think he does need to bring a title. I think he does need to bring another title to LA. Because there's a whole lot, the bubble doesn't count, this and that. Like, I mean, I'm still celebrating the bubble. I'm still counting that ring. But I think he needs to bring another title in order to really be mentioned amongst the Kobe's, the Shaqs, the Magics, the Jerry West. The new fans will probably say, oh, no, give him everything he wants and give him everything he deserves. Those of us who've been watching the game for a long time be like, well, he's a great NBA player. He's an NBA GOAT. He's not a Laker GOAT. He's not. Right. It's not there.
And I think the big difference between LeBron and most Laker greats, say sans maybe Shaq, who was there 7 years, is that most of the Laker greats, Kobe, of course, Magic, of course, they're lifers. They were there from day one. They were there from the word go, and they stayed the entire career there. I think with LeBron, what's the difference? That had LeBron came to LA a little earlier, maybe I could see the argument maybe of like, okay, he gets a ring or two, then you give him a statue. But and I don't want to shit on the bubble either, because obviously my team made the finals that year too, also. But at the same time, you can make an argument that everything outside that 1 year has been a failure for the Lakers. They've underwhelmed in many ways. The Anthony Davis experiment, was it good? Okay, so yes, you got a ring out of that. Yes, correct. But everything else around that has been underwhelming in itself. So
made it to the WCF and got swept by Denver. So that was a big one.
Right. But to be fair, too, also that Laker team also was a team that was coming back from a rough start that season. But even so, there's just so much that went on there that I think, when you're talking about Laker greats, there's no question that LeBron James is one of the, in my opinion, two best players in the history of the NBA. In my opinion, I don't know how you feel about those rankings, all that.
We could have a whole show talking about that.
Absolutely, but when you talk about Laker greats, and what it goes beyond just where they rank all time. To me, it's about what does this individual mean to that city. We know what Magic means to that city still to this day. We know what Kobe means to that city to this day. Kareem, to some extent. Even Shaq has some, capital in LA. You know what I'm saying? With LeBron James, you don't really feel that there. At least in my opinion, from the outside looking in. Maybe it's different for you guys who are there. It doesn't feel the same way. To me, LeBron still, and I'm a guy who had LeBron 4 years, also won 2,000 of them. He still feels like a Cleveland Cavalier ultimately.
LeBron does not embody Los Angeles Lakers exceptionalism.
Right.
He does not. Like, Lakers exceptionalism is all about winning titles.
Right.
All about playoff success. And like he has not brought that. He had the opportunity to do that this year. And like he really ran out of gas. Mm-hmm. He ran out of gas. Just like most of the team ran out of gas versus the Wolves. Like the Wolves is a team that the Lakers should have beaten in the first round. Should have beaten. And they took them lightly from the jump and ultimately paid for it. So I mean, LeBron has put up some phenomenal numbers in Los Angeles. Phenomenal. Like if you just took his numbers from the time he spent in LA, like those are like damn near Hall of Fame numbers itself. If you just go by the stats, but you have to win. You have to win out here to really, really get the accolades and the credit. You have to.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one, and I think I don't think he can ever get to a place where he's respected in the same way Kobe is. You can make an argument. Yes, LeBron. I know. Again, this is different, of course. Do I have LeBron have a Kobe? Yes, I do. Is Kobe also bigger than LeBron as an Laker? Yes, I do. You know what I'm saying? Both or not mutually exclusive. I think Kobe meant something different to the Lakers in a way that LeBron is just. And it's funny, LeBron's been here now 7 years now, which is crazy. Like, it's easy to forget that he spent 4 years with Miami. He spent 7 plus 4 in Cleveland. He's another year or two away from almost matching his time in Cleveland, which is crazy to think about. But yet, I still think people look more fondly of the time in Cleveland, obviously, because of what he meant to the city. And then in Miami, in a sense, because Miami, his height of powers was in Miami. Still, his height of powers career was in Miami. All 4 finals, two NBA championships. So I think that's what hurts LeBron in the Laker thing. He would have to go on a run these next 2 years to really change that and be the catalyst of that happening to make
he
that.
Won't be.
And he won't be because he can't. And he shouldn't be because he's 40 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that being said, LeBron James, it can be argued going to next year, if you put together a top 25 list of players going to the league into next season, it can be argued based on how he played this year that he's a top 10 player. It can be argued. I'm not saying it is. He had a great year this year, but you can't win with that guy being your number one. It's going to be Luka's team.
He was a top 10 player though. He
wasn't.
He was. He was.
There you go.
He was. He was.
I didn't see the final result of the MVP list.
Was it? I don't think it has actually officially been released yet. Has it?
The whole list?
Yeah.
Well, I know
we know SGA won, but like I haven't seen any of the ballots.
So SGA I know won, and they say he won by 120 something votes. Let me see. Look at that. NBA MVP results 25. Okay, so shoot, they're not showing it here exactly the entire. Hold on, wait. NBA.com may have this there. Hold on.
Okay, I'm looking at it right now too. Yeah.
Okay, so according to NBA.com, if this thing
he was there. He was number 6.
Yeah, but and it's funny because I remember like back in March, I remember saying this because I actually did did an episode on this and a segment on this on the show. We were talking about Jokic in SGA. That was a race all the way through, pretty much. If you looked on the betting sites out there, the third guy, now granted it was a massive long shot. Back in March, early March, the third guy on the rankings of MVP was LeBron James, according to betting sites, and they know what they're talking about for the record. So, all right. So yeah, so it was SGA, Jokic, Giannis, Tatum, Donovan Mitchell, LeBron James, Kate Cunningham came in 7th, Anthony Edwards, Steph Curry, Jalen Brunson, James Harden, and Evan Mobley actually got votes.
That surprises me.
What surprises you?
That surprised me that Jalen Brunson was so low on the list.
Me too. New York did underwhelm a little bit this year, though, in comparison to what was expected based on the roster. They only won a couple more games more than they won last year.
They did, but the narrative, like when I think of MVP votes, like it's all about narrative to me. Like it isn't always about like who had the best season. Like let's keep it a buck here. Like Jokic had the best. Jokic had the best season out of any player in the league. You know what I mean? But like it was the narrative was like SGA from the beginning, and it should have been like that team was dominant, and he's the best player on the team, and he's playing so well, and that team's playing so well. But I thought Jalen Brunson should have been in the top 5. I did. I didn't expect Donovan Mitchell to be up there in top 5 over Jalen Brunson. I didn't. And Kate Cunningham up there surprises me too. So a
little bit, but Kate. I mean, obviously, Kate getting votes is actually obviously because what he did Detroit this year obviously was amazing. Brunson should be a little higher, but again, the Knicks' expectations were a little bit higher this year, based on the team they acquired. Obviously, we see in hindsight now that they're in the conference finals, so things worked out, in hindsight. But yeah, that makes kind of sense actually. Though I thought Brunson would be a little higher though. Like I said, SGA, Jokic, and I feel bad when I sit there and say that SGA is the MVP all year long, given the fact that Jokic had the season he had, and I feel bad because I feel like I'm knocking Jokic because I'm not knocking Jokic. Jokic had a phenomenal year. Jokic is leaps and bounds right now the best player in basketball Okay,
Denver got off to a bad start. That's what worked against Jokic this year. Denver got off to a bad start, and Jokic kind of got off to a bad start. But like he had a phenomenal season from November on. Like it's ridiculous.
Yep.
And OKC came out, flying. Like they came out hot out the gates.
Yep.
And SGA's been balling all year, and like he did nothing to lose the opportunity to win the MVP. So like he was a front runner from the very beginning, and he never took his foot off the gas.
And ultimately, people need to understand this too. Wins and losses do matter in these votes.
They do.
And when your team is just a tick south of 70 wins, doing something that very few teams have done in this history of this league, and you win the conference by 16 games, it's hard to ignore that. So you have to kind of give him his due and just kind of run with that. You know what I mean? So it is what it is with that one.
We're having fun talking about basketball, man.
Yeah.
But like just talking to you, I want to know how you feel about the G-Man.
Bro, it's me. Why are you doing this shit to me right now, bro?
Because like this whole Hard Knocks thing, just came out, and like they're gonna do the whole in-season NFC East thing.
Which team?
So like,
wait, they're doing it again?
Yeah, it's the NFC East is doing the in-season, like they did AFC North last season. In-season, it's the NFC East in-season this year.
Can they leave us alone for fucking 1 year, bro? Like seriously,
it's gonna be incredible.
Why can't y'all leave us alone for 1 year, bro? Like seriously, just one fucking year, leave us alone, man. Can we rebuild in peace? Good Lord, man.
It's New York, man. It's New York. New York cannot leave the limelight. It's gonna be amazing. I'm mad though, man. I'm mad. Like you said, I'm a Florida State football fan. Like, why the fuck did they sign Russell Wilson, man? After signing Jameis, like I wanted Jameis to really get another opportunity to start in this league. If they're doing things fair, if they're playing fair, I think Jameis will beat out Russell Wilson. But like, I don't think they're really gonna give him a fair shake at beating out Russell Wilson to start.
I think.
Like, what's your take on that quarterback room?
I think the plan was initially that they would make those two guys. I think they were out on Shador and those if they were to go. I think they knew Cam Ward. If they had number one pick, if Cam Ward fell to them, that was the only option they were going to check mark it. And I don't think they realized. I think they thought that, okay, we don't want to draft Jackson Dart high at 3. We don't want to draft Shador Sanders higher at 3. Okay, let's get the best player available in the draft. Let's improve our quarterback room. Okay, with Russ and Jameis, and we'll see what happens. I think what happened is that night they go to the draft and they realize, oh shit, Jackson Dart's still on the board at 22, I think it was 24. We'll trade up for it. I will say, I mean, low bar obviously, but this is obviously the best quarterback room we've had since Eli Manning. So again, low bar. And this team, I think this team, the schedule aside, because again. People talk about the schedule and the hard schedule, but look, that's overrated. This team is going to be much better than they were last year. I think this team could win at least 6-7 games next year. Russell Wilson had a solid year last year. He tailed off the end of the year. Lots of reasons why that happened. But I do think Daniel Jones was an atrocity. And I think there's a lot of things a lot of bad luck played last year. Okay, you had because they made the playoffs 2 years ago. We got to extend Jones. We can't extend Saquon because of the fact that he's a running back. Okay, I get all that. And then you let him go for nothing. And you let your biggest rival pick him up. And you do it on fucking national television on top of that, okay? And then that same fucking team goes and wins a fucking Super Bowl. That same running back runs for 2,000 yards. So it was such an avalanche of shit. Plus, we went 3-14 on top of all that. And then the same guy you decided to keep didn't even finish the year with you. On top of that, that's the worst part.
Crazy. That's
so
crazy.
It was like an embarrassment. It was like an embarrassment of riches here, and I mean in the worst way possible. Having said that, it does feel like a clean slate now for this team. You got a quarterback. Dart's pretty decent. We'll see how that goes in camp. I'm hearing good things in camp. I don't get bogged into all this shit with like. Everybody saying, well, he had a great camp. Okay, show me on the field. I don't give a damn what he's doing in camp. How's he look? September, October, November, December. That's what I care about. So
could it really Could it really be a clean slate with D-Wil on the hot seat?
I think if this team can win at least 6 or 7 games this year, he'll be fine. I think this team. I think the ownership group.
You think he'll keep his job with only winning 6 or 7 games?
Well, I mean, you have to assess this team as is. Okay, first off, it wasn't even D-Wil and Shane that decided to extend Daniel Jones in the first place. It was fucking John Mara. So the ownership made the mistake, not the executives. The ownership made the mistake on keeping Jones and franchise Saquon, and then not keeping him, signing him to a longer term deal. And by the way, it is still understandable why they didn't want to keep Saquon. Okay, but I always knew that if Philadelphia had a chance to get him, they're going to get him, because that's what the Eagles do. They're aggressive. People have revisionist history about this shit though, because if Saquon goes to the Saints, no one gives a fuck. If they went to the Eagles, that's why. So I mean, I get it, but Saquon special. I get it, man. But yeah, if they win, if they win at least 7 games this year, I think he'll be fine for another year. And if they see the development of Jackson Dart too, especially, I think that will save his job. I
can't wait for the Hard Knocks. I can't wait. It's gonna be very interesting, because we'll know what type of team they are by the time those episodes start airing. It's gonna be something else.
Well, not for nothing. They had a good draft, I thought.
Yeah, it was decent.
Nothing. They got that. They filled all the needs they had. They filled. They got a pass rusher, so their defense at least is to be pretty good next year. We know that.
Free Jameis.
All
the fans are gonna be screaming free Jameis after Russell Wilson starts off 0-3. Everybody's gonna want Jameis to start. Everybody loves Jameis, man. Everybody loves Jameis. He's such a great personality. He's such a fun guy.
He's a fun guy.
If you're gonna lose,
he really is.
Jameis, man, put him in and open up that passing game. Open it up.
Is that going to be it? Will that be the week 1 quarterback room, you think? Of Wilson, Dart, and Jameis. I don't think all 3 guys are on the roster.
I think they are. Because like I said, I think this is a win now year for D-Wil. That's just my opinion. I think this is a win now. And if something happens to Russell, James to go in and pick up the reins and play quarterback. I don't think if something happens to Russell, Dart's not ready to go in and play. I don't think Dart is ready. So you have to keep James. I'm hoping that they trade him, because I really want to see him play football. I really want to see him play. That guy, he's so much fun, man. He gave me one of my best. He gave me one of my best moments, man. That national championship, and
it's true.
You guys are lucky, man.
You and I
wish he came. I wish he came to the Raiders. I really.
What about that? Is such one of the greatest turnarounds by one player in the NFL history in terms of perception. Even he's still erratic as a quarterback. He's a likable guy, and he's very likable. And he's genuinely changed his life around too. Also, he's married, he's solid, has a family now, and he's a leader actually too in the locker room. People respect him. That's one thing people hear about James. That's one thing people hear about James is that he's not, for all the things you hear about James through the years. You never hear players talk shit about him. You always hear about players respect him. Always.
Everybody loves him,
and you can't. And
everybody loves him. He works hard. Yeah. He works hard. His main flaw is he's too ambitious on the field. Yeah. He doesn't know when to throw it away. He thinks he could make every throw. Yeah. He thinks he could make every single throw, and I love him for that. But that's his flaw. He has to learn how to throw it away. But he's and come back, fight another day.
He's easy to root for, though. I'll tell you that much. So, what about your Raiders, though? How you feeling with the Raiders? 2020? I mean, you got Pete Carroll now. Geno Smith is your quarterback.
I think we had a pretty good offseason. I think the personnel had always been there, except for we didn't have a solid offensive line last year. We just had real shit coaching. I think the personnel has always been there, but we haven't had any good coaching at all. Carroll is he's gonna stay the ship. We're gonna get back to the basics. We're gonna run the ball. We're gonna play good defense. And Geno needs to be respected in this league. He's a solid quarterback.
He is.
He doesn't have anybody to throw it to except for Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers. But as long as we can run the ball, man, like we got Marshawn Lynch #2 coming in, and our offensive line is solid. So I think we're gonna creep up on people this year. I think we can win 8 or 9 games. Honestly, I think coaching alone could turn that thing around.
In that division, though?
Yeah, I believe so. I really believe so. Knock on wood. I mean, we got arguably the best pass rusher in the league. Arguably,
yes, that I agree with.
Max Crosby.
Yeah,
arguably, and like just don't fuck it up. Like, let's get down to the goal line and let's put the ball in the end zone. And I think Geno could do it. Geno has really turned his career around, and like Seattle, why they got rid of him, I don't know. Like maybe they wanted a new start or whatnot, but he's solid. The
problem with that, though, I'm not even saying you're wrong for that. The problem I see is that right there, that division might be right now the best, if not second best division in football right now currently. Okay, you have the defending AFC champions Chiefs are there, of course, probably having a down year, but they're still going to be great. You have the Broncos trending up. You have the Chargers trending up despite the playoff loss to Houston in January. So, if you're gonna win 8-9 games, what you're telling me is that there's a team on top that's gonna come down to the pack. And if that's the case, which team is that?
Before last season, we had both the Chargers and the Broncos in the chokehold over the last couple of years. Like,
right,
we've been the second best team within the division over the last few years.
Right,
and like last year, just everything just went to shit completely. So, Chargers had good coach, Broncos had good coach. Now we have another good coach, and like that was our weakness. Like we could hang with them. Like we give the Chiefs problems year after year. I mean, I think we could do something. I'm very hopeful, obviously, but like I'm really looking at this objectively. Like we could win 8-9 games easily. Like we could come second place in that division. Like we might even win more. And we have a last place schedule at that too. When you look at how the NFL does their schedule, like we're playing a 4th place team in 3 divisions. So we have a little bit easier of a pathway than those other teams above us, just slightly. I like our schedule.
Here's what's clear to me right now in the NFL. If I had to pick a winner right now win the Super Bowl next year, I think the Eagles have a clear run to repeat. I think this is the most dominant team I've seen. I think I've seen both sides of the ball like this with a front office that's as stable as they are. I think the Eagles have a clear run to repeat just like the Chiefs did last 2 years. I just think the Eagles are in a great spot, barring injuries, of course. I think I think they're heavy favorites now, in my opinion, to win it all next year.
Clear run, that division, man. I mean, just you got Washington. Washington's an up and coming team.
Yeah, but it's always that sophomore slump. I think Washington
gave them problems.
No, right, and I think Washington is really good. I just think that you also got to bake in the possible sophomore slump too. Also, I'm not saying that Jane Daniels is going to slip back, but I don't think. Look, they made some good moves this offseason, but even with all those moves they made, I would still put Philadelphia leaps and bounds better than them right now. I got Lions.
The Lions.
The Lions lost 2 coordinators, man. That could be huge.
Okay,
they could be huge.
Okay.
No, they'll have challenges. I think there's still the Ravens and the Bills and the Chiefs, obviously, and obviously we mentioned the two. You mentioned.
I mean, just in the Rams alone, like you got
the Rams,
the Rams, the Packers. Like they're all good teams.
But all those teams you mentioned though still have big flaws. The Eagles virtually are flawless across that roster. Virtually. Where's the weakness? You got top 10 quarterback in the league. You got probably top 3 or 4 wide receiving core in the league. You got probably one of the best defenses in football, best O-line in football, best running back in football right now. Where's the flaw?
Is Jalen Hurts a top 10 quarterback?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll see that.
Burrow or Hurts?
Oh, I'll take Burrow overall. Burrow's top 3 and 4.
Okay.
I mean, you have your core 4. You have the Burrow, Lamar, Mahomes, and Allen. That's your core 4. Then you got the CJs and the Hurts and the Herberts and.
I like Goff. I like Goff over Hurts.
I don't think Goff.
I like Goff over Hurts.
Goff is good. But Goff is also, I guess, I don't want to insult him because I feel like that's a lot of that is also the system that works great for him too as well.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen's great. Josh Allen is the man. Josh Allen is he's a positive to a team. Like he's a guy that you put him on any team. You put him on any team in the league now, they guarantee 8-9 wins a year, no matter what, because he can win you 8-9 games a year just because how good he is.
No, I'm not going to say that. That's going to be ridiculous. People.
What's that? We're going to say. Now I know. Now I know.
I was going to say Tua.
No, get the fuck out of here, bro. We talking
about that. Exactly.
First off, survive the year first and foremost. Survive the year first and foremost.
I don't know, man. Like up until now, I really didn't think of Hurts as a top 10. I'm a big fantasy player. Like I always know he's a top 10 fantasy player, but like I didn't really look at Hurts as a top 10 NFL quarterback. But like I have to now. Like you have to take away the whole stigma of being a game manager and whatnot. Like because he's doing something that nobody else in the league really can. Because he could play some smash mouth football, running it, and he's very accurate. Maybe because like the passing game isn't wide open in Philadelphia is probably why it doesn't have to be why I really didn't look at him as a top 10 quarterback. Hey, what do you think about Justin Fields?
I'm very intrigued by that whole Jets thing. Number one, they got for cheap. Number one, so if you're gonna go cheap, was it $20 million a year? Maybe $30 million a year at most.
I really like him.
I do too. I'm rooting for him.
I hope he gets a good opportunity to reveal his true game because I think he's an excellent passer. They kept him under wraps in Pittsburgh, right? I don't think he really got a chance to grow and develop in Pittsburgh, and that Bears offense was just complete shit. Like the offensive line and play calling, everything was complete shit. I hope he gets the opportunity to show everybody what he's really capable of in New York right now. I like him as a player. I'm excited to see what he does with New York. Him and Garrett Wilson back together again. Breece Hall, like that's a team that nobody's talking about. I think could really make some noise this year. Is the New York Jets.
I don't expect the Jets to do much this year because of Buffalo being good. But there's space there because Miami is going to be one of those, like, if they're good, they can win 11 games. If they're bad, they can lose 11 games as well too. The Pats are still rebuilding. They're going to be able to improve this year, but it's still rebuilding. So there's space for the Jets to make some noise. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't surprise the Jets win 8 games this year. No,
because like when I look at the AFC, like obviously we talk about the AFC West, but to me, it's just the Ravens, the Bills, maybe the Bengals. Other than that, like the AFC is wide open. Like there's nobody from the AFC South scares me at all. Like I'm not impressed by any of those teams in the AFC South. Like it's really, really wide open. After those main teams, it's wide open. Like anybody can make the playoffs. They can. Yeah.
I think, and again, this is why I think all those the strength of schedule and all this stuff is so overrated. Teams that you think that were good last year ain't gonna be this good next year. Like Minnesota was 14-3. No way in fucking hell they win 14 this year. That ain't shit happening. Those are teams that didn't do well last year, like Niners 6-11. They should be improved next year. I'm not gonna say they're gonna be back to where they were 2 years ago, but they'll be better than 6 wins next year, I think. Even though I'm still on the fence about Brock Purdy and that contract. That's a whole other conversation. But I think the strength of schedule thing is kind of overrated too, to be honest with you. So, the Jets, look, the space for the Jets to make some move, make a move here and improve and have it with a quarterback on the cheap. And And I don't remember Fields. I think Fields has gotten a bad rap. The Steelers thing was kind of weird. The Bears years were kind of, I understand why they did what they did. I understand it, and I actually kind of agree with it. But at the same time, he has an opportunity here to change the narrative.
The NFC is tough, but the AFC is wide open. Like anybody in the NFC could really fall off, but the AFC is just so wide open.
The NFC is Eagles to lose, but I think outside of the Eagles, though, you still have the Rams this year. I think the Rams, I say that health permitted, because Stafford's not healthy, the shit don't work. Obviously, you have in the South, I think Tampa is probably still going to be the best team in the division. You have obviously the Green Bay, Detroit situation. Chicago could be good this year. We'll see. I think Wilson will improve this year. Minnesota might be still decent somewhat. Obviously, in the East, you have the Eagles are the runaway favorites, but you have also the Commanders. And then I think the Cowboys will be solid this year.
I think Cowboys will be solid. I like Atlanta as well.
Atlanta.
I like Atlanta.
I think Penix is going to be really good. I think Penix is what we saw last year on this coming in there and on moment's notice and doing what he did. I think full camp could do the trick for him. The AFC, though, does feel wide open because I don't think anybody in the AFC is running away with right now. I think Baltimore, Buffalo, KC are all neck and neck. And you got Houston. Could Houston come to the fray? We'll see. The Bengals could be back if the defense improves. So there's a lot of things. I think the AFC is wide open. I think the AFC is, like you said, is very intriguing. Very intriguing.
Sir. Yes, sir.
You told me months ago that you were getting back to wrestling again.
Yep.
What triggered that? First off, before you even go there, you told me years ago that you did like wrestling, but you were more of a WCW guy, NWA guy back in the day, right?
I grew up. Wrestling was a thing that me and my brother watched all the time religiously. Mm-hmm. And it was WWF. Then we got cable, and we discovered a channel, Superstation TBS.
Turner.
Superstation TBS.
Yeah. And
Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair and all those guys. Mm-hmm. Like, to me, like the quality of the matches and wrestling and entertainment was just so much better with the UWF / NWA finally turned into WCW.
Right.
I was more of a WCW fan than the WWE. I still say to this day that was a better brand of wrestling than the WWE. Then like something happened around the 2000, 2004, something like that. I just stopped watching wrestling.
Yeah. Like everybody else did.
Yeah, it wasn't entertaining. But I cut on TV one day and I saw The Rock. Was it The Rock? And he was facing off. No, was he whipping
Cody Rhodes?
Cody Rhodes, yes.
Dusty's kid.
Dusty's kid.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, like Dusty's kid is getting whipped by The Rock. Like, this is something right here.
Yeah.
And like that piqued my interest. So like, yeah, it's facts. It's facts. I really want to start watching. And I saw that the first show that they had on Netflix.
The Raw on Netflix, yeah.
The Raw on Netflix. That was wildly entertaining. Mm-hmm. But I really need to fit some time in my schedule, man, to watch it because like it's tough. It's not part of my life, and like it's something that I want to get my son into watching. Like I tried to get him to watch it one time. He was like, "Daddy, what's this? Like, what are we watching here?" It's like, "Is this real?" It's like, "What are we watching?" I'm like, "Oh man, it's fun." It's like, why? Why is this fun? Like I really couldn't explain it. But I think the next time they come to town, like I might take him to go watch it live in person. So
I told my kids the Raw actually last year. My oldest son actually got into it before I did because like everybody knows my history already, what wrestling. I went on a 17-year hiatus between 2002 and 2019. But
really?
I didn't watch it. Yeah, I stopped watching the current product. Now, that doesn't mean I didn't watch the old shit still. I still watch the old shit all the time because I was still, Hulkamania years and Attitude Era and all that stuff. So I would still watch that for nostalgia purposes, but I stopped watching the current stuff that was coming out in real time. And then my son started getting into the current stuff probably around 2018 to the point where I started getting into it. I was like, okay. So I started watching the current product in 2019, and I haven't looked back since. Having said that, though, don't feel bad about the whole watching Raw and SmackDown every week. I can't do it either. It's too much wrestling. You have that's between those two shows. If you want NXT, that's another 2 hours. If you watch AEW, it's another 2 hours. Plus, that's 2 shows. That's now 12 hours of wrestling a week. Okay, and if you go further than that, you can go.
What the hell is NXT?
NXT is their developmental circuit, like the G League in a sense. It's the third brand, but those guys get called up at some point. The
AEW is cool.
It was okay. I to be honest, AEW is what brought me back in the first place in 2019. But I've cooled off AEW the last couple of years because it's just
the quality's not there.
Well, here's the thing. So like you were saying that you preferred WCW back in the day, and I think the reason why you preferred WCW is because it was more of the work rate matches in comparison to the WWE back then. Back then, WWE was leaning more on sports entertainment, whereas WCW, NWA, there was way more work rate matches in comparison. AEW does more work rate matches, probably more than WWE, but that's all they do really pretty much. They tell stories, but they don't do well on the long-term storytelling the same way that the WWE does. To me, what I've come to realize as I've gotten older, and even as a kid, I might like work rate matches, but at the end of the day, what keeps me watching every week is the storytelling. And AEW does not do that in the same way that WWE does it. So that's what's kept me around on the WWE side more than the AEW side the last couple of years. So, but don't feel bad about missing Raw. And in fact, you can all you have to do is go on YouTube and watch the recaps. That tells you everything that's going on.
I'm watching Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels right now.
For WrestleMania 12? That's WrestleMania 12?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The Iron Man match?
Yes, sir. It's on right now.
I just watched it actually 2 weeks ago, actually. Yeah.
Man.
A lot of people don't like that match, though. A lot of people think that match is overrated because there was no falls in there and none of that, But Bret Hart's still one of it. Bret Hart might be the greatest worker in the history of the company, honestly. He's a great. He made wrestling look believable. He really did. Like those the punches and all that stuff. He made it look believable, and that's why I've always appreciated about Bret Hart. But I've always been a WWE guy because that's what I was exposed to as a child. And did I watch WCW down the road? Yeah, I did. Eventually, I did. And in fact, I would say early WCW is actually very intriguing. I would like to go on a deep dive down the road and just kind of go back and look some of those because there's a lot of guys that in that early '90s WCW that did wrestle WWF for a little bit and then left the company and went like Steamboat and some of those guys, the Tony Blanchard, those guys. There's some great quality there. WCW's quality. I will say WCW's work rate matches back then were actually way better than. And I'll go for and say that the roster in the early 90s was better than WWE's. It's just that they just were mismanaged.
WWE back then, I think the difference between the two is WWE didn't look real. Like they didn't make it look real enough. Like it was just more strictly cartoons. Like there wasn't any blood. They were hardly sweating. Like it didn't look real. Like even I'm watching this match right now. Like and he just gave him a headbutt in the nuts. Like it doesn't even look real, right? But like WCW, like you could hear the slaps. Like when Ric Flair slaps Ricky Steamboat like in the chest, like you heard it loud, like you heard the smack, and you're like, damn, like that shit looked like it hurt. You felt it. And like that was like the distinguishing factor.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I agree with you on that 100%. But yeah, again, don't feel bad about that because all you have to do with
I don't feel bad. I just really like something in me like just really, really wants to get back into it because like it's a feeling. Like you don't forget the feelings that you had when you experience certain moments. Like you don't forget the feeling. Like I still remember the day that Brock Lesnar was introduced for the first time and came to the ring. Like that was like a pop. That was a huge pop. Like who is this guy? Like this dude's on swole. And those things like you do not forget. And like I like to get that feeling back, you know.
Yeah, and WWE is doing some good stuff here also too. I mean, the women's side is doing really well. Triple H is doing a decent job with creative. I have criticism with certain things about the company as a whole in terms of like the just the not the marketing, but like the advertising is way over the top now. But of course, they're way more corporate now than ever. They're now a shareholder, and they've been that way for a long time. And now they have the advertisers on the rings now. So I get all that. But in terms of the storytelling and what they're doing, I think they're doing a decent job telling good stories and and keeping you invested enough to watch. And like I said, it's impossible to watch this stuff every week because there's no breaks. Look, even the fucking pandemic couldn't stop them. A pandemic, they still were putting stories together during the pandemic. So a pandemic couldn't stop them. What else gonna stop them? Like, come on. So that's why I if you need breaks, take breaks. I like, especially during the fall for me, between September and like say December, I still watch, but I'm definitely checked out, one foot out the door in a sense, because football's back, baseball playoffs, basketball comes back in the fall, hockey as well too. I have more and more distractions at this point, so I don't get really heavily back into it to talk about Royal Rumble season. So
when the pandemic hit, I started watching Formula One. I love Formula One now. A lot
of folks start doing that actually. Yeah, I think my brother-in-law and my sister got into it around that time too. Also,
all right, me and my wife are huge Formula One fans. Like it's appointment watching now. Like even on Thursday, like late Thursday nights, like we'll stay up to 2:00 in the morning just to watch a practice run. Like it's crazy. Like we love it. We absolutely love Formula One, and like hopefully one of these days, like we'll go catch like a race in Austin. Like Miami and Vegas is just too expensive right now. But like I'll probably go catch an Austin race, the US Grand Prix. Like it'll be dope. Like I want to go watch a race in person.
Did you watch the series on Netflix?
Yeah, that's what got us into it.
Oh really? Did you enjoy it?
I love it. Yeah. I love it. That's what got us into it. Drive to Survive.
Yeah, I need to watch that. I need to watch that. I've been told.
Yeah. You haven't?
No, my brother-in-law told me you gotta go watch that. So you'll be addicted. But I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, that's what
I have no brain space, dude. I'm into too much deep. Dude, I'm into too much shit. If it's not wrestling, it's sports. It's sports and music. The music, it's politics. I have so much shit going on. I do so much podcasts. Like,
and you're a dad. And you're a dad.
I'm a dad, and I'm a husband, and I'm invested in that. So there's just so much going on. So
it is so much going on. I'm a huge Barcelona soccer fan too. That's one thing we mentioned. I
like soccer too, also. But again, it's brain space. It's do I have time for this? But last thing, get you out of here. You had mentioned the pandemic. You had told me off record that you had went through a lot of stuff during the pandemic. That you want to share exactly what things were you going through?
Yeah. So like specifically, like the main thing, man, is like. Catching. Well, I don't know if catching is the word, but with being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, like, and almost losing my life.
You almost died?
Listen, man. If anybody is listening right now and they know about diabetes and they know what your glucose level is supposed to be, and what your A1C is supposed to be, I went to the doctor one day. Like, obviously, like my body was, it was telling me like you need to go to the doctor, and I took my piss test and the whole nine before like I did the whole finger stick, and my A1C was 13.1.
Jesus, that's more than mine.
It was 13.1, and like the doctor was like, wait a second, like, and he just kept looking at me. I'm like, what's wrong? He was like, you shouldn't even be standing here talking to me right now. I was like, this number is just way too high. It's like,
yep.
That's what happened in the pandemic. When everything was locked down, like you can't go outside and do this or that. Like you can't entertain yourself. You can't live regular life. Like I'm sitting at home. Like I'm a big sugar addict. tearing down big gallon bags of gummy worms and eating ice cream every single night. And that changed a lot, man.
Real quick though, because I've known you about a little over 10 years now. Well, actually a little more than that, actually. Weren't you a fitness guy for a little while though?
I am. I still am. But
you back then though, you were like big into fitness and eating healthy and stuff. That's how I was shocked when you told me that. I was like, really?
Eating healthy. I wouldn't say I always was a eating healthy type of person. I know that I wasn't heavy on wasted carbs and like fast food or anything like that. But that's it highlights the fact of like how much candy and sugar I was eating. I was exercising every day and I was eating sort of the right foods, but everybody had a vice, and candy made me feel good, still makes me feel good. It's like that's how things went so left. Like you said, like I was weight training, I was training people, right. I was fit and I still had diabetes just because of the amount of sugar consumption that I had. Like it was out of control. It was really out of control. But that being said, like it scared me because I have a history of that in my family. Growing up watching my mom like shoot herself with insulin like every single day. Like I did not want that to be a part of my life. So I looked up a couple of things. A diet to go on and all those type of things. And like I was real strict for like a solid 4 months. And I told the doctor, hold off on the pills, hold off on the metformin, hold off on the insulin medication. Like, let me actually try this. So like, okay, screw the lockdown. Like I'm going outside every morning and I'm running 2 miles and I'm eating squash every day. I'm eating, oh my God, yeah, I remember that. I'm eating squash, Greek yogurt, spinach, turmeric with apple cider vinegar, cayenne pepper, and cinnamon, and like every fucking thing that I ate. Yeah. I discovered this tea, man. There's this tea called Gymnema sylvestre, Gymnema space.
Gymnema, okay.
Gymnema sylvestre, Sylvestre. Right. It's this herb. It's this herb, whatever you want to call it. This is herb that basically, once you taste it and once you drink the tea, or if you take a pill or anything like that, it removes the taste of glucose off your tongue, so that anything that has sugar in it, like you essentially cannot taste it at all. So me drinking that tea prevented me from like wanting to eat candy, wanting to eat chocolate, wanting to eat cookies or anything like that. Because if I try to eat it, it'll taste so disgusting. Because like, why do you eat those things? Yeah, because they're sweet, because they taste good. So like, I think that's like something that more people need to be aware of. Like, because if you can't control like your consumption, like that's something that could really help you control your consumption. It's like, why am I eating this? Like, if it doesn't taste good, and like that helped me. So long story short, 4 months later, I went back to the doctor and I went from 13.1 to 6.1.
Jesus.
In a matter
without meds too, also
without meds.
So I was because I was diagnosed 2 years ago with type 2 diabetes, and I was at 11.4. And 3 months later, I went to the doctor. Now I went on meds, and I'm still on meds now. And I went down from my 11.4 to a 7. Was it 7.3? I think it was. I've been 7.3, something like that. 7.4, 7.3. So it did drop 4 points, which is great. But my issue with eating is I don't necessarily like candies and stuff. That's not my issue. I do like cookies once in a while, but I know how to curb that. I ate cookies once in a blue moon anyway.
Bread.
My issue early on, bread is one, definitely. My biggest issue for years, which I've done a better job with now, I still drink once in a blue moon, is sodas. Sodas is what got me here in the first place, number one. Okay. I still have a hard time going cold turkey with it. Like even tonight, I went out with the family to eat. We went out to a memorial at a bar, and I got a burger and fries and a Coke, because that's just what I do. But I should have gotten water instead, and but again, it's hard to cut this shit. But my biggest thing, of course, besides sodas, of course, is carbs. It's rice. I'm a Trini, so I love rice. I love bread. I've cut back on bread somewhat, but it's still an issue. I will say
the worst.
Rice is bad. I know rice is bad.
Is the worst.
Yes, it is. So, like, the only thing that's really helped me keep me sane, I guess, the last couple of years, is intermittent fasting. That has helped me because at least it limits the amount of carbs I put in my body and the shit on my body. But I do need to clean up the eating in general. It is tough. And then, like, the summer's coming, so my kids are out of school. We're gonna be doing a lot of activities and do a lot of family things here. We have a big trip coming up to New York in August. Like I told you, in August, I'm gonna want to eat. I'm gonna want to have fun and eat what I want to eat.
Get you some Jim Nema, bro.
Yeah,
it'll help.
I may have to.
It'll help you out. It'll help you out so much.
Yeah, but I do struggle with that with the nutrition part of it. Like, I'm actually back in the gym now, which is great. Like, I walk 2 miles a day, every day now. I do work out a lot now. One of the things I found out recently too, also, I think I mentioned the podcast a couple episodes back, is I found out about 2 months ago that my hormone level, my testosterone levels were really low. So I got on TRT the last 5 weeks, which has been tremendous for me. My energy levels have gone up a lot more in comparison. Obviously I'm a lot more active now. I've used that now to the point where I'm going to the gym every day, almost every day, doing weights again for the first time in over 10 years. And obviously I'm walking every day and doing all the things I need to do in the house. Even the wife's happy now too, especially. So, it has helped in that aspect. But my biggest drawback to this day, though, still is nutrition, and it's tough because I do like to eat the things I like to eat. I can cut back on those things, but it's like to go cold turkey. That's fucking hard. That's hard.
R.I.P. Fife Dog from the Tribe Called Quest, and like that's the first thing that came to mind when
he was diabetic.
I'm a big hip hop. He was diabetic. Drink a lot of soda, so he called me Dr. Pepper. That was one of his famous rhymes from Bugging Out. Right. Drink a lot of soda, so they called me Dr. Pepper. That's right. Yeah, he loved him some Dr. Pepper and Three Musketeers and all that good stuff, man. So yeah, he was diabetic, and he drank a lot of soda. So like that was really his downfall.
He never stopped.
He never stopped. They talked about on the documentary, on the Tribe Called Quest documentary, about like how he like used to always like eat candy bars and drink sodas and stuff like that. Yeah. And I was like, wow, it's like this is real, and like that's me. I had to look myself in the mirror, like, man, like. And just full disclosure now, like I said, that I went cold turkey. I mean, without medicine and all that type of stuff. Like I fell off. Like my nutrition discipline, fell off. And
it's tough.
Like I went back to old habits. So like eventually, I did get on medication, but like I'm below 6. I'm just.
It's awesome. That's excellent. You doing the damn thing. You doing the damn thing.
I'm even. Yeah. So like I'm there, but like I had to eventually take medication because like I wasn't disciplined enough to like continue eating like the shit that I was eating, all the time.
Oh, you take metformin? Metformin?
Yeah, metformin.
Yeah, I'm at 2 also. I take two pills a day. So
I took Ozempic for a little bit.
Was it what?
I took Ozempic for a little bit.
Really?
Yeah. That shit's magical.
Yeah, but the thing is, I hear that Ozempic though, it's supposed to help you not eat.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big thing. It helps you not eat because like if you're somebody who likes consuming like bread and rice and burgers, all the type of stuff, like you're not going to consume that.
No, the thing with me though is that I'm disciplined to not eat outside a certain window. Like I'm actually good enough to eat within 8 hours, and that's it. I can eat. I fast every day, so I can go. Like today, I went 22 hours without eating until this afternoon.
That's amazing.
That's what I'm saying. So
if you're disciplined, like then you don't need it. But like most people are not disciplined. Like Ozempic will have you eating just once a day, right? And that's a beautiful thing,
right?
That's a beautiful thing. Like if you can't control, I lost so much weight too. Like just in that time period, so like I see why like people who aren't diabetic are like is getting that shit illegally because like it really works. Yeah, but like I couldn't do it anymore. Like I was losing way too much weight.
So
like,
where are you now? Where are you now, nutrition wise? Are you okay now? Are you?
I'm okay. I'm a lot better. I'm a lot more mindful because like I don't want to die. You know,
do I. Not anytime soon anyway.
I'm keeping it real. You know, I have a 10-year-old and I have a 6-year-old, and I want to be out there running around and doing all that stuff. So like I'm healthy-ish. I'm not going crazy with candy and ice cream and sodas and all that type of stuff. Like, you know, I do consume it every now and then, but like I'm not going crazy with it. Like I go to the gym 3 times a week. Yeah. You know, I try to run. We have a place called the Culver City Stairs, which is an amazing place to work out here. Like I try to do that once a week. Like I think I'm relatively healthy to be a 47-year-old. You know, I'm a middle school counselor, and like all my students like don't believe I'm in my 40s, so like that kind of makes me feel good.
You don't like it.
Yeah, so they say
but it ain't fair to you.
Aside from the grades, aside from the grades, like I could, you know, really come off probably like a lower 30 person. But like life is good, man. Like I really don't have any complaints. Like I'm going to T-ball games twice a week and T-ball practice once a week, and like it's fun, man. Like having young kids like keep you young.
You know, it's funny. I think my biggest motivation now, especially too, is that, you know, when I found out I was diabetic. By the way, also not just diabetic, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, which that's all monitored now because I've got my meds on all that stuff now, and everything's okay with that now for the most part. But my wife, she's had weight issues for 3 years, she had a little health scare too around the same time I did, and ever since then, 2 years ago, she has been absolutely strict with her diet. She does carnivore now, low carb. I mean low carb means only veggies, no sugar whatsoever. She's been disciplined with that for months. And she's lost a lot of weight. She's much more positive now. She's done like a major overhaul in general, not just with nutrition but even with her mental health too. Also, you know, a lot of things she had going on with some members of her family that she's cut them out of her life now. Not even get into that obviously, but she's made a massive turnaround the last 2 years now, so it's kind of motivating for me to you know, to try to up the ante and try to join her with that. So it makes it's a lot easier for me now. And granted, it's still tough for me to be strict, but to know that your spouse is doing the same thing, same changes you're doing.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, it's like marriage it's a partnership, bro. It's a partnership, you know.
Absolutely. I think the most difficult part for me, and like how I kind of fell off after I got healthy again, was like trying to maintain like a balanced diet for a whole entire household. Like I'm eating strict as hell. Like it was hard. Like my kid doesn't want to eat like vegetables and like.
Oh, dude, my kids are the complete opposite. Yeah, you got one kid that's picky as hell. Okay, only eats carbs because he only eats pizzas and bagels and, you know, mac and cheese and all. That's all he eats. And then another kid who, while he eats much more balanced diet, loves snacks, loves cookies, and it's like, oh my god, keep this shit away from me. I can't eat all this crap. You know, so it's tough, man. It's tough.
My willpower isn't that great, Ernest. It's not like, so if there's cookies and stuff in the house, like I just can't, right? Like I have to like force myself to drink this tea because I know that I'm gonna want to go in there and take a bite. Like especially like late night right now, like getting the late night cravings. It's ridiculous. There's absolutely no cookies in this house.
That doesn't bother me actually. That's the thing with me actually. I will say it's improved through the years. I don't eat late, and that actually stopped years ago. Because I started to get to the point where like I hated how I felt when I ate late, and I go to bed, I feel all groggy, and next morning I feel like shit.
Are you crazy? So, it makes me feel good.
I mean, no, I'm pretty good at eating and stopping about 7 o'clock and being good for the rest of the night and good to the next day till like 11 o'clock the next day. I'm good about that actually. That's one of the things that's improved in the last couple of years for me is that part. It's just that what I eat in those 8 hours or smaller is what I need to improve on. You know, I drink a lot more water, which is good, but I still need to be more disciplined in you know, in eating more protein, more eggs, more protein steaks and chicken and no rice, obviously, and that's the hard part for me is going that route. If I clean that up, I am golden, because the working out part is not a problem. I work out all the time. I walk 2 miles a day. I go to the gym. And I'm back in the gym first time. Like I said, I'm doing weights for the first time fucking 10, 15 years, man. This is great. And I enjoy it. And it's so, and the best part for me is that it's the best thing is that it's even better for my mental health than anything else. I feel so set. Whenever I work out, when I was walking or going to the gym to do weights, every time I'm done a session, I feel way more centered after it and focused and measured. And
it's a fact. Working out and exercising will do that for you. It's a very underrated aspect of mental health. Like, it just makes you feel good.
Yeah.
It makes you feel good about yourself. And like, like you're doing something great for your body. And like, it's just like the way it energizes you is amazing. Like, especially if you work out in the morning.
Yeah. Which is what I do also too, most of the time. If I miss the morning, I make sure to do it at nighttime. I gotta get it in every day. Gotta get it in somehow. And again, for me, my biggest challenge is scheduling, because everything with our schedule is so tight, because she works some nights and days and the kids and blah blah blah. But we can all find 30 to 45 minutes a day to do something.
Should be able to.
Yeah.
Should be able to. It's easy. It's easy.
Yeah.
Like, get yourself a weight set or something. But like, just if you could make it to the gym, if you have access to a gym that's close by you, and like you don't have like a long drive or anything, like, it's absolutely the best thing to do.
Oh,
like,
I got my development. Yeah.
I tried for like a long time, like just doing like the home gym, and like I just wasn't motivated staying at home. But like going to the gym, like once I get there, like it's rough. Like sometimes like I don't even want to leave. That's why nighttime. Yeah, nighttime is a good aspect for that too. Like late night, like I don't even want to leave sometimes.
And the best part, the best part too, I love listening to podcasts. So go listen to podcasts and go work out, or listen to music and go work out. You can bridge both your worlds in doing that. So that's been for me the change for me. Obviously, like I said, if I get the nutrition down better in the coming, like say tomorrow, or whatever, I that's where I think I'll be winning the most. Is if I get the nutrition down packed, I'll be back where I need to be. Because I'm 45, man. I'm not getting younger, man. I gotta lock this shit down. I don't want to die either.
And like, we could talk about this forever. We can talk about this forever, man.
Of course we can.
Man, it was great catching up with you, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You wanna promote anything here? Before we get out of here?
You know what? Let's just promote mental health amongst men, especially minority men. Like let's really take this shit seriously, because it's a stigma. It's a stigma in our culture that we shouldn't be able to express ourselves in certain ways, and like we keep a lot of stuff in, and it's very detrimental to our health. Like, just by not being able to vent or like have a positive way to release our thoughts and emotions, and like we keep it bottled up, like it's not healthy for you. It changes your physical health too in a negative way. If you're not mentally fit, then like your body pays for it as well too. So I want to promote mental health among Black and brown men for sure. I mean, white men too, but like it's really stigma. It's really stigma within the Black and brown community that like you shouldn't go talk to a therapist or anything like that. So just like forget all that shit, and like if you're going through something, like just go talk to somebody. Right.
It was just what I was saying earlier, before we get out of here, and granted he wasn't Black, but I told you earlier I went to a memorial. A friend of mine passed away a couple weeks ago. He killed himself. And shot himself because he was going through a lot of financial issues and stuff. And like I said, you don't know what people are going through. You know what I'm saying? And mentally, and he was always very happy. That's the thing. He was always very happy. You wouldn't think he was in that dark place. He had a son that was 17 years old, a golfer, doing very well. The guy owned his own restaurant and stuff. He was at least from on the surface doing well, but he had a lot of demons he was dealing with. And like I said, talk to someone, be expressive, especially in our community, man. Be people. There is absolutely a stigma with black men who don't like to open up, and I think that's complete fucking bullshit. That people say, "Oh no, hold it in and just keep grinding." No, dude, you can still grind, but if at the same time, if you don't open up, you only do harm to yourself. That's it. That's why you get heart attacks and all those other things that happen to you because
heart attacks, strokes,
stress is one of the biggest and yet the most secretive killer out there. You need to express yourself, and talk to someone.
You'll never see on anybody's death certificate like, oh, he died of stress, but like,
yeah,
it's a main factor. It's a main factor.
So yeah, I really appreciate you coming on and saying that, especially too, because if someone hears this and hears that piece, please, talk to someone. Don't let it be something where like don't let your pride, in other words, get in the way of bettering yourself mentally and physically.
Next time we talk, man, we're gonna talk about the shows that we're watching.
Oh, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you, man. I miss our Game of Thrones updates, man. I really do. That was fun, man.
Absolutely.
D-Wil, good job as always, man. Good job.
Classic, man. Classic.
Yes, sir.
Love you.